So, hello everyone again and welcome to this particular video. And some of you might be wondering the big news that's coming out most likely tomorrow, which is Wednesday, concerning the unveiling of the new Cybertruck. I'm just kidding, because the Cybertruck was already unveiled, but then there was a little glitch in one of the testing, when the guy threw like a ball or so on the glass, saying that it is actually resistant to that much pressure, but then there was like a crack. No, not that one. This time the United States President Joe Biden is going to be unveiling the F150 Ford truck. But hey, this is the real twist here. This is going to be an electric truck, and this has brought some interesting conversations in terms of how this particular truck is going to be competitive to that of the Cybertruck, which is still not yet in distribution as of this date. I'm not really sure whether about that, but I think some people have made orders, and this was actually unveiled a couple of years back, or no, couple of years back, I would suspect that. But up till now, there hasn't been anything in terms of updates on how the truck is going to be modified or changed to meet the needs of drivers that are going to be requiring trucks for heavy duty stuff, not only in terms of various activities but also in terms of various job servicing, hard labor work. And looking at this in terms of F150, which has been a huge truck seller for a couple of years now for Ford, and in North America specifically, it's kind of interesting to see Ford actually going into electric trucks and electric, which is a big deal in the United States and also in other parts of the world. Even in Canada too, there is a huge investment that is going into greener resources or renewables, and one of these now involves investing in transition from fossil fuels or gas into electric. And so one challenge is that people have actually found is based on the charging of those particular electric panels that are used to run car. How long is it for the charging versus how it is going to be used for X amount of time while you're driving, and all those variables, and also charging stations and various converters that is going to be used to be charging based on the location spot. All those challenges has been brought up, and based on some interesting holy grail results here that introduces a more stable form of lithium style of battery, and the ones that are currently in use in terms of the specific battery is lithium ion batteries, and those are really vulnerable to dendrites, and dendrites are little holes in there that kind of lead to some interesting loss of the efficiency of the overall battery system. Therefore, due to this leak, this actually reduces the specific lifespan of the battery. So they are trying new technologies which now involves a solid form of lithium, and this is currently under research, and there have been some promising results so far, although they kind of tested the metal form of lithium compared to the ions type of lithium. But the solid one, though really impressive, showed some I would say not too fun results in terms of explosions and stuff like that. I know the explosion is not going to be, maybe it will be like the Samsung, is it like S7 or those kind of explosions. I don't know about that, but I mean that won't be actually be safe to be put on the road. So to perfect that, to go through more trials, for them to actually see how this is going to be a huge game changer in terms of the wait time for charging your car, but also how this is going to be efficient in the use of car around compared to that of fossil fuels. And based on this article here, this article touches on some interesting things and highlights how this could be a game changer according to this article, I think by this particular writer here, Caroline. And in here it talks about interesting things involving lithium batteries at the backbone of most today electronic devices, most electric cars, and this has actually led to some interesting findings where scientists actually focus then on studying lithium dendrite formation to see how they can make better, longer lasting batteries for electric vehicles. Now, this Harvard University researcher says they have the answer. Now, the lithium metal battery made of a solid state metal material rather than lithium ions, eliminating the spiky dendrites and offers in a more structural stability than a battery consisting of liquid or graphite material. So thinking of the new battery like a BLT, multi-layer design has the structure of a less stable electrolyte sandwiched between a more stable solid electrolyte. So this is kind of a hybrid, and I like the idea of bringing the good of one particular technology and improving it by trying something new and seeing how those will actually bring an harmonious result in here. And it's quite interesting to see how this particular strategy is actually going to be instrumental in preventing any lithium dendrite growth. And the scientist says that in the new study, which is actually appearing in Nature now, making a battery out of most solid materials help prevent dendrite formation in more than one way. Now, mechanically speaking, it's far easier to crack a little shell of metal or ceramic than to penetrate a solid battery anode. And on one extreme end, if you use solid state versus on the other end, if you use just liquid state, there could be problems definitely on both sides. But when you have the middle region where you have a fluid dynamic of not only the liquid state but also the solid state in this particular layered system, I think that is where they're going for. And I like that region where if you find a sweet spot, you'll be able to find that best of efficiency in terms of the design and preventing of this particular dendrites that is a huge problem on the other side, which is where you find those in the lithium ion or liquid or graphite style batteries. So I like this particular outcome in here, and I'm kind of curious to see your thought about this particular potential change and how this is going to lead to a huge sell and buy, and also how cheap cars are going to be electrically speaking compared to the lithium ionized batteries, which is a lot more expensive and also really hard to actually manufacture compared to a solid, or I would say a harmonized system of both liquid and solid state batteries. So I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about this and whether this will be a huge game changer in terms of people actually making that huge switch from fossil fuels or gasoline into fully electric. And I know this is going to be different depending on various countries. Some countries with low power supply to charge those cars will most likely use fossil fuel as a huge start, and then later down the road, when there's an improvement in electricity and power supply, that will be the next goal for those countries. However, for countries in North America where there are a lot of, or in parts of Europe there are a lot of constant power supply, that should be not a big concern in terms of the charging and locations. However, the diversity in terms of the charging spot will lead to some interesting issues when it comes to what is the right convertible charging spot that meets all electric cars, so that in case, like for example, if you go to a gas station, every single car that runs on gas always goes to any believe me, gas station. But for electric cars, will everyone follow Tesla's I would say format of charging, or will they have their own charging spot around, or will charging stations have multi-plugging system for them to actually be effective at charging diverse looking cars? So I'm really interested to hear your thought about this. Please hit the comment down below, let me hear your thought, and please don't forget to subscribe. By that way I can talk to you soon. Stay smart as always and believe in yourselves.